All right, we are back and we're stepping away from this giant mess in the garage because I got another project going on. So, I want to build a set of rock sliders for my new truck. I got an 01 Tacoma. Don't mind, the girlfriend got bored and started drawing shit. So that's the basic idea of what we're doing. And it's already done, but let me show you how I did it. All right. So this is the start to the slider. So it's going to be driver's side one. Start off with this 2x4 square steel. It's got like a 120 wall. Nothing too crazy, nothing too small though. So just need to make sure it's cut square on this end. This end's pretty bad. I'm gonna cut this down. Shorten it to about 6'7". That's about where I want it. Then I can bend some tube for some of the other pieces on the slider. Let me get this piece turned around. Oh, without punching a hole in my kayak. Time to cut. Not a bad cut out of the Harbor Freight bandsaw. Now, I get to build or bend some tube. So that's the piece I'm going to make the little step portion of the slider out of. So I need to cut off a 20-inch or 28-inch length of this, and then bend it up in the bender. 28-inch long section coming right on up. All right. First piece is fed in the bender, set to where I need it, and this thing's as easy as pumping this. Alright, that's one. So, cut the bevels and make the other. Alright, so worked the ends a little bit, made it sit flush and square and all that good stuff. So now I'm just gonna tack it in, then work on the other piece. All right, time to bend one more piece. This is gonna be the main rail, the long one. It's gonna end up being somewhere around like 64 inches long, I think. I didn't cut it off the main tube yet, or the rest of it, so I know for sure. So. And Butterfinger strikes back. So this just needs another 90-degree bend on one end. Alright, this is going to be the difficult part because I need to maintain correct distance away from a piece of square tube, which on my instance is 2 inches. Need to make sure the depth is right. And then this cut's complicated. I don't have a tubing notcher that'll notch on that steep of an angle, so I have to cut it out with an angle grinder and notch it by hand, which isn't a major deal, but if you're not careful you can screw it up real easily. So I'm gonna get this thing squared up and figure out where I need to cut and all that good stuff. So this is kind of eyeballing some stuff. That's roughly it. Cut that, clean it up, make sure it sits where it needs to. Then we'll work on the other end. All right, so got that in place, but unfortunately I got a little too short up here with this cut with the fish mouth. So the whole tube still square here. This end's a little sloppy fitment, but this side sits about ½ an inch forward of my other one I built. I'm almost just gonna say screw it and run it as is. because I don't feel like cutting it and extending it, or I don't really feel like making another one, cutting another tube and doing all that. So I'll probably just run it as is and chalk it up to, hey, handmade stuff and limited tools, whatever. If this was for somebody else, I would be popping that tube off and building another one, but it's for my own truck, and I don't know, I just really don't feel like fixing it right now. Next step, I have to cut out some pieces like this. Actually, this one might even be one of them. Yep, one that didn't work on the other side, on the other one, will work here. So I got to make another one. It's just a piece of tube with a little fish mouth on it, so it strengthens this. So these will be 24 inches apart and centered up in the tube. Harbor Freight notcher, nothing too fancy. Got it set for 90 degree. Clean it up with the flap disc and get rid of all the nasty stuffs. Okay, those are cut, set in place, centered up, so I'll just tack them up. Then I'll be pretty much good to go to finish weld this half of it. I still need to make a way to mount it to the frame. Alright, so I cut these out, just a piece of pretty thin sheet metal. Land there, just cover this area. Drill some holes, do some dimple dies, and then that way it'll at least give me, stepping in and out of the truck, if you step on the slider, give you a little bit of something with traction, so you don't, foot doesn't completely slip off. Alright, so at this point, all I need to do is finish weld this slider on this side, put that there, and then build the mounts off the back. Already did one. I've already painted it black. I just brush it on so it doesn't look the best, but have my frame mounts on there. I'm going to see how they do. Worst case scenario, I'll either brace them or cut them off, put something better on. Not worried about this side of it or these, but this is just the box tubing cut down, so it shouldn't be an issue, but we'll see. Use a flux core because I don't have gas right now, and everything that sells gas is closed because coronavirus. So it'll do fine, just a little messy. Alright, so I got this one done late last night. Working outside, so I didn't have good lighting, so I didn't film anything. But I got all the boring stuff knocked out. Built the mounts for it, painted it, and this one looks a lot better because I actually spray painted this side with some VHT roll bar paint instead of brushed on the Rust-Oleum. So the other side I'm going to strip it off today and spray it on and mask up the side of the truck because that side's already welded on. So got weld through primer on both sides of where the mounting plates are going to go. So all I have to do is place this thing up on the jack stands, slide it in position, use the floor jack to tighten up the plates up against the frame, clamp it in place, make sure it's where I need it to be, and then burn it into the frame. I've already disconnected the negative terminal on my battery because if you don't, you have potential of frying your ECU or something, and I don't really feel like dealing with that right now. Is that mount? Is that one? And when I go through, jack up on each one and make sure it's 100% on the frame, because it'll sag and do stuff. I've been trying to find my other jacks, but I can't find them for some reason in the garage. So I don't know where the heck they went, but I'll figure it out here shortly. Get get this one tacked in and get that one tacked in and work on these. So there we are. Welded up, painted on there. So I already tried it on the other side. I could jack up on it anywhere on the slider and it doesn't move, and I could jack up on the whole entire truck with it. So I was kind of worried I didn't have enough bracing on them, but I think they're gonna be fine. They'll at least support the weight of me getting up to mess with the kayaks, but that's for another project. Gonna build a roof rack for it. So yeah, battery back up and pretty much done. So that's that. That's the rock sliders built and done. So stay tuned. I'm gonna have a lot more things I'm gonna do to this truck here shortly throughout the summer and everything else. So yeah, pretty excited. All right. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.